right, when you got your straps angled like we do here with these diagonal straps here, your strap is going to want to get away from the protective wrappings that I always make on these. So it'll want to try to winch down like this. It'll pull away from it. You don't want that. You want to make sure that as you're tightening it, or before you start tightening it, you've pulled this portion right here over to the side. What's up guys, here with iTrucker, back with another video. And it is a Friday, actually the Friday of the second week of me being out on the road for the 3 weeks. And we've been getting it in for sure. There's been a couple of hiccups along the way, but overall, you know, it's working out. And the positive thing, all 3 of the Fridays, that's including the Friday before I actually started the 3-week journey, all the Fridays up to this point, I've had 4-digit loads that have been over $2,000 to the truck. So I have been having awesome starts on those Mondays, and this one's no different. We're in New Jersey right now, and this load is actually going all the way to Minnesota. It's going to be about an 18.5-hour drive, so we're going to try to knock out as much of that as we can today, which won't be a super ton because we did some driving earlier to get our Thursday load delivered this morning. We had to cut off an hour for that, and then it was a 2.5-hour drive to get here, and we made it here just by the skin of our teeth. And I might get into how that went a little bit later on in the video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys what we got today. All right guys, today we are hauling some skidded coils, and here's what they look like there. Very small amount of freight. Each of these weighs is about, well, not about, let's get exact with it. Exactly 21,050 pounds. So we are gonna go ahead and secure these. It's gonna be very simple what we do. Actually, it's more simple than I thought. I've hauled coils similar to this before. They were aluminum. I'm not exactly sure what is in these coils. It doesn't specify on my BOL what the metal, what type of metal it is, but I would venture to say it's probably aluminum as well. I'm probably taking this to some cannery. It's usually where the other types of coils that are like this have gone that I've had in the past. This will be very easy for us to secure. I'm gonna go ahead and do our forward movement protection, and we're gonna throw some straps, and I'll show you exactly where all that stuff goes. This is very, very simple, guys. This will be very easy, and I'm probably gonna throw in, I might throw in an extra measure because you all know I'm a fan of over securements. Doing a little bit more than you have to in order to give yourself peace of mind when you're going down the road that that freight is not gonna go anywhere that you don't want it to. So let's go ahead and start securing this. I took the liberty of already getting out all the equipment that we're going to need to secure this properly. So we're not using any metal to secure this by means of like chains or ratchet binders. Just straps, as you can see. We're going to be tarping it. So we need the dunnage right there to close off our tarps and make that watertight. We had to use some coil mats as well, if you can see here. There's coil mats underneath the skid, and that's to keep it from sliding around on the deck of the trailer. So there are 2 coil mats there, so one under each platform of the wood, and it's like that on both of the 2 skids that I have. And then even though these coils are wrapped up, it would seem, in what is this, some kind of really thick cardboard, something like that, and some kind of plastic covering on top. We are still going to use our edge protectors, plastic edge protectors, as an added precaution. It might even be mandatory to use the edge protectors on that, but I always use edge protectors when I'm dealing with metal. I never put straight on fabric of the strap onto any metal load, whether the metal is covered or not, because vibration of the trailer driving down the road could, you know, possibly cut the straps, you know, just the minute vibrations over time, you know, driving hundreds of miles. So I'm not gonna play with the risk, but we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna start off with our forward movement protection. I'm gonna throw a U-strap here in front of the coil and have it pulled back against the coil itself. And we will, or actually I'll go ahead and show you guys this in real time. It may take me a couple of tries to get this U-strap to stick and hold, because you want the strap to be holding the coil. You don't want this strap on the skid itself holding the skid down. It needs to actually making contact with the coil, holding the coil back from moving forward. If you needed to hit the brakes very abruptly, you don't want to stop the, well, it doesn't matter as much stopping the skid, you want to stop the coil itself. So let's go ahead and get that together right now. Here we are with the first U-strap on there, and as you can see, I actually took another coil mat and I put it in front of the strap here, just because the strap wanted to keep on falling down, and I was trying to give it something to brace itself against while it was on that coil so it would stay put. And as you see, it's right there above the actual skid itself, holding on to the coil, keeping the coil from shooting forward. And you want to make sure that you do that on both of these coils, not just the very front one. So I'm gonna have to do that same thing on the second coil here as well. But now that that first part's done, you want to just throw your straps in an X formation, or more like a star formation on your telephone, over top of the coil. So we're gonna throw 2 straps diagonally like an X, and then we're gonna throw one right over the center of that. Got the straps thrown in that X formation that I was mentioning. It's not tightened down yet, and I had to put the edge protectors up there, of course, but I wanted you guys to see how it looks. You know, it's kind of set up. Once we get this here, it'll look a lot better once everything's tightened down. But I wanted to show you guys up close in real time how everything goes. But that's it, straps are draped, and as I said there, we have our forward movement protection on both coils. My tactic with putting the coil mat in front of the strap to hold it in place, that worked on both of these skids. Actually, I was able to cover more surface area. Otherwise that strap wanted to keep on crinkling itself up down at the bottom right over top of the skid, and we can't have that because that's not really protecting anything that way. So like I said, just coil mats in the front, it works. It's my first time actually trying it that way, but worked like a charm. There's no play in these straps at all, and they're both very tight and they're not gonna come down at all. And you don't have to put any of these movement protection straps on the rear, because you'd have to be reversing very, very quickly and come to a dead stop, probably on top of that on a hill when you're going up a hill or something, you know, or reversing down a hill, for these coils to move backwards on you. I mean, I think that would be extremely unlikely to take place. So just make sure you have forward movement protection on them, and I put forward movement protection on every single load that I'm able to. That's what you're required to do as a company driver here, but I see guys for other companies that don't use their forward movement protection. You know, I can't go out like that, man. I don't want the freight to come off the trailer at all. I've said it before, but of all the directions where the freight can go, if it does move off the trailer, I don't want it coming forward to injure me, because if I'm incapacitated, nobody's controlling the truck. I mean, I want to live, and I also don't want to have anybody else get hurt from a load that I was supposed to secure. So I'm gonna make sure that load doesn't come forward and hurt me, so I can control this truck and go home to loved ones at the end of the week. But back to the load here, we will go ahead and put our edge protectors on here. But before we do, let me show you guys how the star formation that I was talking about. Okay, so it's kind of like that star symbol that's on your phone, and you want to try to have this X as closely centered as you possibly can. So you see two straps diagonal, one going that way, another going that way, and another strap across the center. That way this coil is held right down flat with points of pressure all around it, so it won't go anywhere. And as I tighten these straps, I'll go ahead and try to move them around a little bit so that they're, you know, as close to the center as I can get them. So that, in addition to the forward movement protection that I showed you right there. And as I said, you want to go ahead and use your edge protectors. Now this coil has a smooth edge. This steel doesn't have any sharp points to it, or steel or aluminum or whatever type of metal this is that they're covering this with. Actually that feels like plastic. That actually feels like plastic. But I'm still gonna go ahead and put my edge protectors underneath each strap, just like that. That way I don't have to be concerned with it getting cut, or really, since this corner protector, it's angled, it's got a straight line, I don't have to worry about my straps, you know, say sliding around or moving around any at all like this, you know, because this is rounded, it's smooth, so it could possibly slide around. So I'm gonna go ahead and, there we go, it's angled, so it's not gonna slide around at all. Do that on all of them, and that rear coil back there is set up the exact same way as this one. So all we gotta do now is just go ahead and place all our edge protectors and go ahead and tighten everything down, and we are all set for the securement on these coils, and we go ahead and throw our tarp on. So let's go ahead and finish this up. When you got your straps angled like we do here with these diagonal straps here, your strap is going to want to get away from the protective wrappings that I always make on these. So it'll want to try to winch down like this. It'll pull away from it. You don't want that. You want to make sure that as you're tightening it, or before you start tightening it, you've pulled this portion right here over to the side like this, so it looks like that, so that as it's tightening, it's putting that pressure, staying on top of the protective wrapping. Otherwise it'll pull itself tight against the metal edge, and it'll just be that thin portion of the strap. So make sure that you're moving that protective webbing accordingly before you start winching everything down. That way your straps stay nice and secure. Now that, when I did that before, I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on that, but it could have been a customer specific thing, because sometimes you do have scenarios like that where a customer wants you to load the freight that they're ordering a very specific way, and they want you to secure it in a very certain way. So that might have been the case for that. I don't know. I actually have not hauled that type of coil or that type of skidded coil since that particular event a little while back. So all I know is this one right here is secured according to the requirements, and we are all set. We just need to go ahead and throw our tarp and winch that down, and then we can go ahead and get out of here. So let's go ahead and finish up so we can get ourselves on the road to Minnesota for Monday. Everything is tarped down. As you can see, I also changed my shirt because that last one was sweaty and dirty, and I wanted to get out of that as soon as I could. But the tarp's covering everything, and like we always do, we got our dunnage with a 4-inch strap over top of it to seal, to keep the wind from getting under here. And also that's what these straps are for, so you don't have your flaps blowing around like this in the wind. But here to make it watertight and airtight with the dunnage in the front. And we also did the same thing in the rear with the bungees holding down the access so that we don't have any flapping, and tried to make it as aerodynamic as I could. And that tarp is balanced. That logo is in the same spot on the opposite side of the trailer, and we're golden. We're ready to go. And as I said, we have an 18.5-hour drive to get to the Continental on Monday. I have 6 hours and 20 minutes on my clock, but with it being a Friday, my priority isn't always getting as far as I possibly can. It's getting as far as I can while still be able to secure myself a proper parking space for the weekend. Preferably, you know, at a truck stop where I can shower over the weekend, but at the very least, you know, a rest area where I can rest undisturbed over the weekend. So we're in Camden, New Jersey right now. I have it trip planned to be able to get into Pennsylvania before I stop tonight. It's more likely than not going to be a rest area. I don't think there's going to be any pilots within the range that I'm trying to go, and I'm not going to stop right now to try to take a shower on the way, just because, like, if I do that, that may prevent me from being able to secure a parking space before everything gets filled up by other drivers for the weekend. So I have to have a place to park, and we will probably have to snag that shower on Sunday, which is fine. We'll have some time to do that, plenty of time actually. So we'll do what we need to do. Let's go ahead and get moving.